Good afternoon. Welcome to OptionsTender. Welcome, traders. It's February 10th, Monday, 2025. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to go through the higher time frames of SPY a little bit quicker than usual. Then I'll go down to the 65 and we'll try to map out what we think is happening. And we're in a consolidation, so I'll show basically the bullish and bearish points of views. There's multiple things always that you can look for, but I'll kind of show what I think the primary looks are for bulls and bears. Okay, I still think we're going down. That's how I'm positioning my portfolio. And whether a bull or a bear, I think the market's going down as soon as today, getting reversal into tomorrow. So I think that's an easy trade in the very, very short term. Okay, so we're doing this video about noon Eastern Standard Time. If you want to get these videos intraday, consider becoming a YouTube member. It's 99 cents a month, comes with Discord, trade alerts, all good things. All right, join us. Here we go. SPX on the monthly time frame. We showed this over and over to all the new people coming into this channel. We have the 1929 top, 2000 top, 2025 top, okay? In confluence with 2008 top, 21 top. It's all coming together right here, all right? Let's move over to the SPY. I'm showing SPY. We are showing a consolidation area, just like any of these, okay? So resistance, support. We break out. From here, we go higher in another 3 waves. We break down from here. I think the recession has started. Okay, so the important thing about this one here is the last few videos, I've pointed out where a wick, where the resistance has been on each and one of these monthly bars. You see the wick. Well, the top of that range is in that 203 or 205 area, and we are constantly knocking off of that, okay? And I know that's not the highs, but it's where the box really is, where the wicks are, okay? So super important area. You'll see that in the lower time frame. Going to the weekly. So weekly look, getting real tight in here. We're going to break out, break down. That's as simple as that. On this weekly time frame, the 20-week moving average is the most important thing that we're looking for. Breakdown from it, I think price accelerates down to the 50. Here's the 560 area, and that's a big area. As you know, I've been pointing out each and every video on the reason why. It's about a 10-point area, but 560 would be right in the middle. Okay, so we're in this window right now where we're looking for a top or a bottom. Price can accelerate extremely fast when you're in a cycle window, okay? So we're in it now. We might even have one for, let me dig in here a little bit closer. 218 goes into the weekend, so that, yeah, I think this is pretty much this week cluster along with next week. So this whole 2-week window here, price can make a move. So if we're topping right now, then this could be a sharp move to the downside. All right, and I mean, if we still have room to go to the upside, maybe we find a top by next week. Okay. So price is going to be accelerating here, in my opinion, really quick. And I think that could happen as soon as tomorrow. Let's go to the daily. Trend is our friend. Here's the traditional look. Bearish rising wedge. That wedge expanded. So we have our lows here. This white line had a fake break here, but that's part of another pattern as well. So we'll be looking for this very important trend line to break or hold. All right, if it holds, we're going higher. But we're against, our back's against the 2008 and 1929 top here, in my opinion. I think that this actually breaks. Now, will we put hedges on? Absolutely, when we get to the line here. So I'll show you on the lower time frame how this should actually look. But what I think is happening, you know, I had something planned here. I'm going to show you something I was working on over the weekend, but before, let me finish this thought here. I think this is certainly a consolidation. I get it. This was a flag. We broke out. We're back testing. And so this looks like a flag that's going to break out, right? So I guess anything's possible. But that's what happens at tops too, okay, before they break down. You have the same kind of consolidation, but it just breaks down. It's very confusing when you have the consolidation at the top of a move. It's a lot more convenient. And people ask me, you know, or not ask me, or more like tell me that I get into trades early. It's because we don't know if a reversal is going to be like this one, gets to the resistance and rejects immediately. This one, on the other hand, everybody, hey, we're going higher. Reversed. Consolidation took a couple weeks here. All right. This one is taking 3 months since the election. 3 months. All right. So this consolidation is going to break out really strong or break down really strong. But the point is not all consolidations are continuations. So let me pause the video and I'll show you what I was working on. Okay, so I took just a raw chart and I started diagramming all of the divergences, and I'll post a video on volume. Volume is very important. I don't use it traditionally. Most people will have their volume at the bottom and you get volume in each candle. I don't really use that so much. I like to use it in different indicators, okay? So this one's the important one that I was going through. It's the money flow index, and it's such an accurate indicator, and I want to show the bottoms and the tops of each move in beautiful divergence. You don't have to. You can get oversold and immediately, again, you never know how tops are going to be. Immediate rejection off the oversold area. Well, let's just get to near term. And there are some hidden divergences as well. And so what does that mean? It's kind of like the opposite. When you have a top here and you have a negative divergence, so you have a lower high here and a higher high, and that created clearly not a big move to the downside, but that was a started consolidation. And then when you had a higher low, higher high and higher low here, you actually had a lower low in the indicator, and that's a hidden divergence there. So it happened a couple times in this chart, as a matter of fact. So I also put these arrows here. Not only do we have divergence, but I want to compare it to this move here. It's very similar. You had your top, you had divergence in the near term. That's not what I'm considering. You had your top here, and that was CPI, by the way, huge gap and grab. And then another move after a correction to make a lower high here, okay? Correction, lower high. That's what we had here, lower high. But notice the box, okay? We had this beautiful consolidation where if you're making higher highs and higher lows, this looks bullish, like it should continue on from that point, right? So, but we had a bull flag here that broke down. It looks oddly similar to this. You had that correction, a nice move up here, consolidation. It should just continue on. I think it's going to fail, very similar to this, how this one did. All right, so that's what I want to show you. Just a beautiful chart. We got overbought here. We even had a bullish divergence in the last move, so good indicator there. Now let me pause it and change back to our regular service. All right, so what we're looking at right now, we have a Harami setup. This could be a reversal. This could be a continuation, right? It could go up. It could go down. yada yada. We have a catalyst tomorrow with Powell's speech, and then a few more things happening during the week. So I posted those on the Discord in the fundamental area if you need to look at that. But this is basically a setup for a reversal. We had a top, and I think we're going to continue this reversal pattern here to the downside. But right now we're just holding on to the 8 EMA today. And, from this point of view, price should go up from here or maybe go down and have a wick from the 20 moving average here or the 50 right there. So those should pretty much hold if you're bullish in this near term. And I point this out because on the 65, it'll matter a little bit more for that higher low, okay? And then even before that, I have a box set up here for the trend line. And then there's also a scenario where some people are saying this is an a B, and a possible C down here. That certainly is a scenario because we didn't break this low here. And so it's still valid, but we broke a trend line. So price should accelerate. If we hold on to these lower levels here, the 585, which certainly was important, if we hold on to that 585 and price starts to continue higher from that point, maybe a wave 1 to 2, and starts to break through this trend line again, that's going to be certainly bullish, okay? So yeah, this level will probably get a reaction off of there. But if this is the move I think it is, then I think it's going to slice through here. Probably only get a reaction intraday or so, okay? So we'll have to keep an eye on that. So again, we're in that area. It's 603 to 605 area where just price keeps breaking down from. I know these are higher, but this is a down slope here. This is a lower highs, lower high, lower high, okay? So we're in a downtrend in this lower time frame, and we're looking to see if we break that higher time frame trend, market structure, it should say. I want to also show you the indicators. We talked about this on Friday. So the histogram, in order to have a bearish divergence actually play out and be confirmed, which we do, right? So we have a high, and then we had a higher high right over here, okay? So in the MACD and the RSI, we had a high and then a lower high. That's negative divergence, but this needs to confirm. And so the histogram, these little bars right here, show the distance between the yellow leader line crossing that blue MACD line, okay? So super important. And if I put my mouse on there, you can see we're at a 0.06, all right? We're just barely, we're almost, the lines are practically on top of each other. And the moment that you get a red, I would say close to be sure. As soon as you get a red histogram bar, that divergence should start playing out on the daily time frame. Okay, so any down day, which I doubt we're getting today, it just appears we're going to have this inside day. Any down day tomorrow should confirm that, and we should have some continuation for this to cycle lower. That's what happens with divergences. Had a crossover here, we cycled through. All right, even though we made a higher high, we made another divergence, and this should cycle through. And I actually think this will be the last one if it does cross over before we have a nice big cycle to the downside and probably stay underneath here for some a little bit of time. And I don't mean peak out, but I think it'll stay lower for longer. Okay, let's go to the 65 and kind of map out the different scenarios here. So a traditional look, we're just back testing that wedge. We had wedge breakdown, wedge breakdown, wedge breakdown. That's expanding wedge. wedge breakdown back test. And now I think we're going to start heading to our first target. And that I could expand this out to 590. Well, let's go ahead and this box here is where the trend line is. I think that's where price goes to most likely in this near term, possibly tomorrow or until Wednesday. But let's look at it from this point of view. Okay, so we have these retracements here. So if you're looking for a 1-2 setup, and here's where my box is at the 594 where the trend line is. So you have the 62% and the 78% retracement. This zone, I think we get into tomorrow. And what you're looking for if you're a bull is this to be a 1-2 setup in the near term. And this should be a simple A, B, C. So we're not going to be able to tell because it's going to be sharp. An ABC zigzag into a possible 1-2, right? So we're going to get buyers here. So you're going to see another reaction or so. But okay, and that should be the third wave here, heading higher, and that should be a brilliant move. But if this starts to break down a little bit more, then we're going to look at this structure here being a 1, and this was an A, the move that already happened, and the B would be this top here, and now we're looking for a 5-wave C move to the downside. All right, and I would take these retracements out and start looking at these retracements because that would be that entire move. All right, and we already hit the 50%. That's why you had the nice reaction off of there. And we'd be looking for more like the 62 to 68% retracement there. Now this, the reason why I don't like this one that much is what I was just talking about. We would already have broken that trend line at the 594. All right. So at this point, you should see market structure building and going to the upside if you're considering this to be a bullish move. I'm not in that camp. I'm looking for, I'll trade either one. So one thing that somebody was commenting on this, it's going to go higher and then watch me like bank or something like that. If we find that there's market structure building here, we're going to buy calls. We're going to buy NVIDIA calls and Tesla calls and all sorts of goodies because they're all going to go up. Okay. And we're going to do just fine. All right. We trade. But what I'm looking for, just the clues that we have, the tea leaves, is that this is we're going to get a much larger move to the downside. And I already have this in a purple. 1, 2. In the white. 1, 2. And we need to see a 5-wave move down here. So either scenario, we're going to get that 5-wave move, right? Into the gap. You should see a reaction at this 786. So that's probably where you're going to get your 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Maybe get a reaction. And you should see a move probably complete somewhere down here at the 576 before getting another reaction, which is testing the lows. So this is very natural, no matter what position you have, for us to get a reaction here off of the gap and to get a reaction off the lows. All right. And then if we break down from the lows, then we're looking at the bottom of that wedge. And that should have all of these start to play out. And then we should get a nice, and this is where bulls will come back again and say, well, this is a larger 1-2 structure. Okay. So what do I mean by that? Let me pull my screen out. This entire move at that point will be a 1 for the bulls, and then a 2 when we get down to this range. And that's the target we're looking for either way. Okay, so at that point, I don't have them up here right now, but the retracement, if you take the bottom of this entire move to the top of that entire move. And I'll put it at the top of the 1 because this would be an expanded flat. You see how it takes us right to that 50%? All right. That's the 50% retracement of this entire move. Now, bulls will be calling a 1-2 setup and looking for new highs. I personally think the top is in because of the 1929 and the 2000 and the 2008 to the 21 trend lines are the top. And so when we get our bounce, I think the bounce is going to fail. All right, so you get this move down to our target area, 560, 555, 560, 565. It's a huge zone. You get your bounce where bulls and bears are both in here, in it to win it. Probably because we have so many buyers, it'll be a nice big retracement. And then we'll have our retracements. To the upside, and I'll have those in red when we start to break down. So a nice big bounce, probably to 62, maybe even 70, 80% retracement. I know that's deep. It's just because we're forming a top, those retracements are so deep. They're constantly being bought. And so I don't think this one will be any different. Now, it doesn't have to. We can get to the 50% and just fail from there. There probably will be a reaction, but I think we're more likely to get a rip your face off rally, nice deep 70, 80% rally, and then we fail from there. Okay. So that's what I'm looking for on SPY. The rest of them, we're just going to look around, see if we can get any more information. So today we shorted again. We shorted the market. We're back at the downtrend. We're right back here, folks. This is an objective short. This is an easy short from here. Because no matter what, you're at resistance. So if we go above it, especially if we get above this high, then you're golden. All right, get out of your trade and start trading to the upside. I don't think that's the case. I think at minimum, we have an A, B, and then a C retracement. Easy put play. Where if you're wrong, it's easy to tell if you're wrong. If you're right, you're going to make some money. Boom. SMH. Once again, we had our bear flag forming here. Top of the flag. Huge break off of there. That's what you don't know what's going to happen with tops. You hit it and just boom overnight. That's why you have to be ready. And I like to short things early. It's fine. We get up to these levels, I'm shorting it. Give yourself some time and you get rewarded. Now we have a wedge breakdown, lower high here, and all we're doing is back testing that bear flag over and over and one more time again. That's it. Keep it simple. IWM in this expanding consolidation here as well. Made a new high. I think this might be an impulse. And then you get some sort of bounce here, wherever that goes, and you continue lower for a 1-2 setup. If we start to break out for some catalyst, we start to break out and get above this 230, then I think we have a whole nother probably 5-wave move up. Okay, it should be very strong. You get this should be a 1-2 setup, and now we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, at least for a deeper retracement with a 5-wave move here. All right, that would be a C wave. I'm not in that camp. I think it's going to break down earlier. DIA. Basically same thing, lower high, 1, 2, and setting up for probably a trend lower as a 1, 2, 1, 2. And this should trend pretty hard, very similar to a move like this. VIX, and then I'm going to show you McDonald's. I don't know why. I looked at it. I didn't trade it, but I just want to show you a nice setup in McDonald's if you want to take that. Here's our consolidation zone, triangulating, beautiful thing. I think the low was in. If we break down again from this trend, then it's probably a whole nother story. We're probably going to go close the gap at that point, and then the market is making new highs. But I think the structure is a higher low, and I think it continues probably in a nice large candle with catalyst coming up. We can take a look at this on the daily. I like to look at the VIX on the daily the most. And so wrapping around again these moving averages here, and this wedge we showed in the last video what this wedge looks like on the weekly time frame, and bouncing off the wedge once again. And I think we're going to make a higher low here. If slim is right, then the low is in. The cycle low would be here, and we have nothing but new highs coming. Thanks, Slim. Let's go to Mickey D. All right, so there was earnings today, and we would be up on our puts if we did it, but we have so many puts on right now. I'm just not really. I added a bunch today, so we're looking at this possibly a 3-wave move here. All right, in the big scheme of things, McDonald's big range, and if they have their act together, that usually continues higher. Maybe this is just a 1-2 setup where you're getting a flat pattern. But either way, I think this goes lower before heading higher in this case in particular, because this looks like an A, B, C for a larger degree A. And this nice big move here on the gap up with, I believe the earnings miss was going to close partial gap here. And it just so happens the retracement from the entire A wave, or one, if it is a one, I don't think so, but it doesn't appear that way. It looks like a 3-wave move. Got a retracement right back to the 786 of this entire move. That's a beautiful setup. Missed it from the top, but it was a little bit lower at the time. And then again, we're not in this. And then it looked like on the lower time frame, this was an A, B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move with the extension in wave 5 for earnings. And now you have a nice setup, probably for a few weeks to months lower, where this could be an A, B, and then a 5-wave impulse move for C, breaking the lows here. Okay, so just want to show that setup, and that's it, you guys. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, check us out in the Discord, ask questions. We have people in there that follow great fundamentals, and we have good traders in there, and we bounce off trades with each other. So I'll talk to you tomorrow.